haven't already been here, my name is Harleen. I make videos about crochet, travel, books, and everything in between. I know it's been a little while since I have made a video, and that's just because after I got back from vacation, I was just a little bit lazy and when it came to filming, and also, like, to be completely honest, there wasn't much to film. So thank you guys so much for being patient with me as I have struggled to create content for you guys. So as we transition from Japan over to more of what I do in my day-to-day life, I hope you guys enjoy. If you're into crocheting, traveling, discussing book reviews, books, music, and anything like that, please leave a like and subscribe. Last week, my best friends and I went to San Francisco City to just do some thrift shopping and just some exploring around the town. It was our first hangout in the city, and while the wind was absolutely horrendous, we were grateful to get just a little bit of sunshine. I was pretty surprised with everything I found, so stick around later to see the haul. Here's me trying on some things from Crossroads Thrift. I really wanted this top, but it was like $30, and the jeans were so cute, but they had a stain on them. Anyways, here's me pretending to be a real estate agent showing off the average size of a $1 million home in the Bay Area. Just kidding, but why is the housing market actually so crazy? I went back to try these Everlane jeans, but they were way too long for someone who is one Sabrina Carpenter tall. After hitting a couple other thrift stores, we wanted to look at this cute little stationery shop. The cool thing that I really loved about this shop is that it wasn't just selling stationery, but they also had a bunch of trinkets, stuffed toys, novelties, and weird books. I didn't buy anything, but this book had to be my favorite item. I just thought it was so funny. Carl had also found a interesting mask for your butt.
Hey there, friend. Lovely weather out in San Francisco today. I think it'd be nice to go out and take a stroll in the sun, don't you think?
That was so good. Nearby this store, we had ducked into a boutique that had an array of extremely cute but very pricey clothes. After the boutique, we found a small aquarium shop that sold a variety of fish and fish tanks. These are so pretty. Oh, these ones? That's so funny. After a long day of exploring and spending the day celebrating Carl's birthday, we had headed home. I am back from the hangout, and I just wanted to show you guys a haul of everything I got today. The first store that we went to was called Out of the Closet. First thing I got was this Brandy Melville white long sleeve, just as like a super kind of basic like sleeping top. Next two things I got were athletic items, and it's just because I don't think I have like a lot of gym clothes. So I have this pink Adidas t-shirt. I was actually super surprised that I found this, but they were these Lululemon shorts. They're just super cute, perfect for like running, doing yoga. Next place we went to was Goodwill, and I was actually super surprised about what kind of finds I could get. But we were super lucky with the Goodwill we went to because everything was 50% off, and these items were already like super cheap. I got these Brandy Melville sweatpants, and they're just like super cute. Like, I think I might use these for like lounge pants. The next thing I got from Goodwill is this off-brand kind of off-the-shoulder navy sweater, and I think it would just be like a super cute like basic to have like for the fall. The last place we went to was Crossroads, and I only got one item from here, and it's this Brandy Melville. I know I have a lot of Brandy Melville, but it's this Brandy Melville long sleeve. I didn't film an outro for the haul, but that was basically it. Over here, I'm just prepping some sandwiches for my dad and I since we are going on a hike to Cataract Falls. So the next 7 minutes of this vlog are just going to be dedicated to a belated book review for you guys. But if you're not interested in a 7-minute spiel and rant about some books I've been reading, please skip over to this timestamp. It's been long awaited, and I feel like I owe you guys a book review of everything I read in June. So we're gonna get to that, as well as some books that I have just finished reading. So the last 3 books that I remember telling you guys about were books that I started in June, but I didn't get to finishing around July when I got back from vacation because I didn't bring any of my books with me. I wanted to start off with talking about Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Melors. I just really wanted to like this book, and I just didn't. I found a lot of the characters to be problematic and just super unlikable, and I know that that was probably the intention of the author. I mean, overall, it wasn't a terrible book. I actually love the way that Coco Melors writes and the ways that she employs different literary devices. And the ways that she describes like textures or smells, just like the way that she writes describing things, I found it beautiful. The next book I wanted to discuss with you guys is Mindset by Dr. Carol Dweck, and I absolutely adore this book. A lot of the criticism that I was reading online about this particular book seemed to say a lot of how repetitive this book is. And I don't disagree with that claim, but I don't think that that's a weakness of the book. I think that as a society, we are so conditioned to instant gratification, and we just want the answers to everything very quickly. I really think that Dr. Dweck's intention with Mindset and the way she wrote it was really supposed to show us the ways in which people actually think in a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. But nonetheless, I still understand the criticism of the way that she wrote this book. The last book from 2 vlogs ago that I had just started reading but recently finished was Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. For some reason, my expectation in the beginning was that this was going to be a horror novella, but most of the time in this book, nothing really happened. For me, I did find it a little bit boring just because there wasn't as much action as I anticipated. And I don't mean to downplay the significance of this work just because I personally found it very slow. One thing that actually really struck me about reading Metamorphosis was just seeing the change in the way the main character's family treats him after he turns into a beetle. Because of his standing as a salesman, he is the one who is financially providing for his family, whether it be supporting his sister as she goes off to college or paying off his father's debt. And once the main character mysteriously becomes a beetle or some sort of insect overnight, and is unable to go to work and therefore loses his job as a salesman, he is not able to really provide that financial support for his family anymore. It kind of unnerved me seeing how differently his family treated the main character once he was no longer useful. And it made me wonder if the only reason why they loved their son was because he was useful to them. I could be missing the point, but that's what at least I took from it as somebody who just read this for fun and not really like to analyze any details. I feel like it is a book that I will return to and read again with more of a literary eye instead of just reading it for fun. So the other book that I will be reviewing was a book that I just started last week but also just finished. It is My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Moshfegh, and this was a gift from my best friend for Christmas, and I have been wanting to read it for absolutely the longest time. This book is essentially about a young woman who is a recent Columbia graduate and is extremely wealthy, but she is grieving the death of her two parents as well as her broken relationship, or more situationship, with her ex-boyfriend, and just kind of dealing with terrible relationships that she has. And with the help of a strange psychiatrist who prescribes her a dozen prescriptions, she dedicates a literal year to sleeping off her problems with the help of these medications. Pretty sure that this author's intent was to have the main character be very unlikable, and if I'm being quite honest, after reading Cleopatra and Frankenstein, which is also another book that was meant to have very unlikable characters, I don't know if the untrustworthy or unlikable character is really my thing. I think I found this book unlikable mostly because the main character wasn't really taking agency over her own mental health or doing anything to really solve her problems or to mend her relationships. Really made me frustrated. Another problem that I did find about this novel was realizing just how privileged the main character is. The character is essentially a nepo baby, and she comes from wealth. And because of that, she gets to have this gorgeous apartment on the Upper East Side. All her bills are paid. She gets to have properties in her name. She has an amazing job as a receptionist for an art gallery. It's just so heartbreaking to see that with all the privilege and wealth that she has, she doesn't go out to seek therapy, which is not very affordable for many people. I know I might be taking this way too seriously because this is just like a fictional book, but it just made me realize that people with wealth really have the freedom to do whatever they like without facing the consequences of their actions. The main character, instead of spending money for therapy, which she can definitely afford, chooses to quit her job and instead use this money for prescriptions that she really just doesn't need. Of the 4 books, including this one, that I finished reading in the past 2 months, this is the book that I feel like I have the most opinions on and the one that I just like the most. I don't know if I would read this again. I don't know if I loved it. And I want to love what I read. I wanted to end off this vlog with some footage from the Philippines. To be real with you guys, I didn't film enough content to make a vlog, so I just wanted to put in the moments I did film, and I hope you guys enjoy.